Steele Rabbit Podcast. I'm just a snow bunny, your guide on this unfiltered journey through the realms of adult intimacy and relationships. Get ready for bold conversations, candid stories, and a dash of humour as we navigate the complexities of desire together. Embrace the sensual, the provocative, and the unexpected. This is a space where nothing is off limits and where we celebrate the diverse landscapes of human connection. Let's dive deep into the world of passion and pleasure.
Welcome back to the Steele Rabbit Podcast. I'm Johnny Steele. I'm joined here by Just a Snow Bunny.
Hello, how are you going?
I mean, I could complain, but no one cares.
All right, so today we thought we might delve into some of our best and worst hookups, and we would love to hear some of your best and worst hookup stories. So please drop them in the comments, and we'll obviously read them, definitely, and we'll probably give you a comment back. I'm hoping for some funny ones. So I think we should start with your best story, Johnny Steele.
All right, so my best story, I would say, so I went on a date with my very first hookup, and we went to this, it was kind of, I don't know, like an immersive experience type of thing, and it was all Van Gogh themed, and it was honestly, it was fucking amazing. Everything about it was awesome. Super great experience, mostly because she took me on the date. It was like kind of reversed. It was new. It was weird. It was also awesome. All right. This chick got me flowers.
Oh, yeah.
I've never, as a man, had flowers before. And you know what? I get the hype. So
you got to be doted on a bit, and you were, doors opened for you, and
it wasn't like that.
Okay.
But it was pretty great. I cannot complain at all. And now she's become like one of our best friends. So
that's such a
crazy
scenario.
It's absolutely
your first Tinder girl
that
you actually met up with, and had relations with, is actually one of our best friends in the world now.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually go into this a little bit though. So when we first did this and we first decided that we were going to have the open relationship and that the whole swinger thing just kind of wasn't panning out for us, I went on the first date, and I met her, and we hung out, and then we hooked up, and we talked for a little bit before this. It wasn't just like a hey, let's get it in and me walk away and never talk to her again. It was we kind of planned it.
There was a little bit more to it.
There's a little bit more to it. And so then she kind of lived a little bit further away. It was probably about like a 35-minute motorcycle ride. Okay, so let me tell you, when you're riding your bike and you have a helmet on, it is like dead silent and you have nothing but thoughts. And I'm going to tell you, for that 35 minutes, I felt weird. I felt guilt-ridden. I felt like I cheated. I felt like...
Even though I was 100% behind it and knew what was going on.
It was...
Fully supportive.
That was my first experience, and I felt dirty. All right? Like, I mean, after that, you kind of... It goes away. But, the first one...
I still remember you coming home and going... I feel so bad or something.
Yeah. I didn't know.
It
was such a weird. It was such a weird. I don't know. It was weird. And then you're like, tell me all the little horny details, and then it made me feel better. But just in general, it was such a. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else is in an open relationship that is listening to the podcast, but if you are and you've ever been in the scenario to where you guys, were maybe swingers and then you jumped into the more openness of it, or you became non-monogamous in any type of way, however
basically,
it be.
If you go off and do it alone.
If you go off, if you went off and did it alone, did you feel any guilt the very first time? Because I want to know, is it just me? Am I just a little bitch? Or is there somebody else out there that's potentially a little bitch too?
No, it's funny because it feeds into my best hookup.
Well, let's hear
Because
this.
I had no guilt, no remorse, did not have any negative feelings in any regard.
She just, dropped her pants, bent over, and was like, "Get to me, daddy."
Just like that. No, but I think for me, though, you'd already done it.
Yeah.
And by that stage, you'd done it multiple times.
Yeah.
Whereas I had been ghosted and stood up for the longest time.
It was ridiculous.
That when it finally happened, I was just like, it was so easy. I think I'd had a lot of practice.
That's exactly
and a lot of letdowns. So when he actually turned up, yeah.
I think that I was more excited than you were, because I know all of the shit that you went through
to get to that momentous occasion.
The fact that he even showed up was like already a fucking, that right there was a goddamn achievement in itself, because the amount of people that you'd be like, okay, I'm ready for my date, and then crickets, just gone. And it's just like, bro, how the fuck are you gonna plan a date? Be like, hey, you want me to come over at this time, and then not even fucking answer me when I'm like, I'm about to come over.
One guy literally rescheduled me the night before. It was meant to be a Monday night, and he's like, can we do it tomorrow night? I can't. I've got something else tonight. And I was like, yeah, no worries. And so you've been let down once. You've got yourself all sorted out. You've all, shaved, ready to go, full face of makeup, the whole shebang. Yeah. You've worked yourself into the right headspace.
You're ready to go.
And then they're like, oh, actually, I can't do it tonight. Can we do it tomorrow? And it's like, yep, sure, no worries. And then the next night, nothing. Gone.
Just gone.
And it's like, damn it, bro, I did this shit two nights in a row. And 2 nights, yeah.
And that's why he's on Tinder, begging for pussy, because he does stupid shit like this and burns bridges.
So anyway, my best hookup was my first.
Yep.
Like my first actual hookup. I've had some, false starts and some not so good, but this was a positive experience and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And as we said, he turned up, and that was like a win in itself. And then he was actually a really nice guy.
Yeah, super nice and respectful.
He had BBC. He was good at what he did.
Gave her the business.
Gave me the business all over the place. And I think we both were quite satisfied. Going forward, I will be seeing him again. So that was my positive hookup.
Yeah, we couldn't ask for a better story there.
Exactly. So. Really nice guy. So I think people have often said, is it looks or personality? And it's definitely personality plays a massive part in it.
I mean, obviously you need the balance of both, like everybody does. Anybody that says otherwise is a fucking liar. But it's not fully looks.
No. And if you look amazing and you're a jerk, then I'm not interested at all.
Unless you get sworn in because you're married. Then, there's a little bit
stuck with this one.
There's a little bit more leeway. She's not happy about it.
And he is a jerk.
All of this is true. Like, everything that we're saying here on the podcast is just straight goddamn facts. And welcome back to another week's fan Q&A. Just Snow Bunny's going to answer some of you guys' questions.
Yes, I am.
So here's one of the first questions we have here. Have you done DP?
No, but specifically like 2 in my pussy, no. 1 in each hole, no. Mostly because these guys keep cancelling and I can't get 2 dicks at once.
Facts. That's actually happened.
What can you do? One day, it's a dream.
You'll get there.
I'll get there.
Next question. Would you ever cuckold a fan and let them watch you have sex?
Sure. Why wouldn't I? I don't know. I'm pretty open about like people watching or people wanting a certain theme or to do a certain thing, I'm like, yep, let's give that a go. So yeah,
New experiences for everybody involved.
yeah, exactly.
What's the craziest item you've used to masturbate with?
Ooh, so, I don't even know if I want to answer this.
I feel like there's probably a lot of women that don't want to answer this.
um, I think a guy once asked me to like fuck myself with like I don't know if he asked for like specifically like a carrot or a cucumber or something, but um I'd actually just done some shopping, so I had like options. But what I discovered was I think it was a zucchini. I don't know if it was yeah, it might have been a zucchini. Whatever it was, turned out it had teeny tiny little prickly hairs all over it that are sort of invisible to the naked eye. But once it goes
Upon
in,
insertion?
yeah, but upon insertion, there was regrets, massive regrets. But yeah, I think like there's definitely been lots of food objects. I think I even fucked like a vodka bottle once. That was kind of a dare, and found out that that wasn't pleasant
Like
either.
the bottle or like the neck of the bottle?
Like the neck of the bottle, but the it had like a metal a metal lid with like a metal like ring, you know, when you first open it.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, not good.
That
Poor
actually
choice.
sounds terrifying.
There wasn't any injuries per se, but it didn't feel great.
All the injuries were mental.
Yeah. PTSD. I can't look at vodka the same.
That's why she stopped drinking. What is your favorite thing to do as foreplay?
I do have something. It's more about me than anybody else, but I do love like a butt massage that turns into more. So it's like, oh, I'm getting nice butt rubs and tickles, and oh, hey, hello there, fingers.
Have you ever had a threesome?
Yes, I have. It was an accidental threesome. It just happened.
Was it two men, two women?
Two women. So me and a friend and you, my husband.
And the next one. Have you or would you ever peg one of your fans slash followers slash boy toys?
Not the first time I've been asked this. I actually had a guy.
I think that was one of your first Tinder messages ever.
It was one of my early Tinder messages at one point. Yeah. So this guy was like, I'm actually kind of curious about being pegged. Would you peg me? And I was like, meh, I'd give it a go. But I don't know what happened, but it never happened. But I mean, I was like, sure, what's the worst that can happen?
To you or them? Would you ever let a follower have sex with you and one that's not a fellow content maker per se and then film it?
Of course. I'm always down.
I feel like you don't have to be an actual performer.
No, you don't have to be content creator. My biggest issue is time. I'm time poor. I work full time, etc. Kids, blah blah blah. Like it's so hard to find time, opportunity. Like basically, out of a month, I might have like a free evening or a free morning, and that doesn't always suit people. So it's not that I don't want to. It's just that it's really hard for me to coordinate logistically.
What are your thoughts to getting DP'd or having even more?
Of course, it's something I want to try. Yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on it. Like, would be interested to see how that goes. So yes, I'm down.
How would someone approach you to buy you a drink?
I don't know. Just come up and chat to me. Like, if that's what you're talking about, like in public, literally chat to me. Be interesting. Be funny. I don't know. In regards to like sliding in my DMs, just be original. Like everybody slides in and they're like, hey. And I'm like, hey.
Or send a dick pic.
Or sends a dick pic. That's like everyone does that. So do something different. Be original. You know?
What is the most amount of guys that you've slept with in one night?
One. But I mean, I gave multiple blowjobs one night. I guess the opportunity doesn't always present itself to me. I've probably like had sex with someone and then had sex with you, like my husband, on the same day. So 2, there you go. 2.
I mean, I guess that might count.
I guess.
Would you ever let a group of guys masturbate with you in the middle?
Oh, fuck yeah. That's probably like when people are like, what's your biggest fantasy? And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's probably one of my biggest fantasies, to be honest. Like a circle of guys jerking off around me.
There you guys have it. Now you know how to approach her in the DM.
Get a group of
Bring your
friends.
friends. Send a group photo.
Bit of a bio.
Send a pic.
Bit of an application.
Do you prefer men bigger than your partner when filming?
Of course. But that's the whole going for what I don't get at home thing.
What is the worst sex you've ever had?
I don't know. Like, I mean, if you're not in the right headspace, it can be quite hard to like enjoy it properly, I guess. But I can't say I've ever really had bad sex. Like, even what I would consider to be bad sex, the actual situation of it was like quite a turn on.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hooked up with that Mexican photographer,
Yeah.
like the actual sex itself probably wasn't that great. He had quite a small penis, like probably the smallest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I still felt it to a degree, but it was the situation of being sort of in public on a balcony.
The circumstance was hotter than the actual sex.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the actual sex itself was probably pretty poor, but
So that's literally one of your best and worst
yeah.
is in that one situation.
That's right.
Crazy. Would you ever partake in an orgy?
Yeah, of course. Um, I guess it's one of those circumstances, again, like the opportunity when it arises. Of course,
Yeah.
I'd probably take that opportunity.
Do you like women? Are you bi?
What do you think, Johnny?
Do you want her answer or do you want the real answer?
Like, I would say probably not. Like, I get crushes on women, but it's more of like an emotional thing, I guess. Like, I'm not like the idea of going down on a chick doesn't overly appeal to me, but I'd certainly receive. And like, I do find women attractive, and
She
wouldn't
likes
mind
booties.
motorboating their titties. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, I would
Is this one
say
of those spaghetti situations?
that 100%, 100%. I feel
Straight
like,
except when wet.
I mean, I've seen it in action. I feel like you would probably fall more under the curious category if we were trying to, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say that you're particularly bi, but I
No,
would say probably in the
by
more
curious.
curious. Yeah. Like you're into it, but it's not your whole life.
No.
What are your thoughts on anal?
Yes. Well, I have done it. Unfortunately, I can't really do it with you because your cock is too fat and it's not going in there.
I'm sorry about that.
Makes my butt cheeks clench just thinking about it, and not in a good way. But no, I don't have a problem with it. It's just got to be the right member.
You have to be
Has to
this
be
small to
thin.
ride.
Yes.
So, what is the most dicks you've had at one time, or how many would you be willing to try at one time?
Well, at one time would be one.
For the
Um,
actual answer.
the actual answer, because like I said, we've set up a few things that just haven't quite
Panned out.
But how many would I be willing to have?
Yeah.
I think five's a good number.
I think it's a good number. How does it feel to know that all you need to do is post a picture on the internet and you'll make loads of guys hard?
Oh, like that feels really good. Community service, I guess. I don't know. I like it because, like I've said before, I'm a bit of an attention whore. So, not gonna lie, it makes me feel pretty good. Um, yeah, and like I've got a purpose in life.
How often do you have sex?
It depends on the week, and I say week because it's once again time poor. I work evenings, so it's really hard to sort of find the time when we don't have kids and we have alone time. So for us, I mean, it's probably once a week, which I know that is definitely against everything I stand for, but
We choose Mario Karting at night
we do.
over hooking
We've
up.
often chosen Mario Kart over sex, but um, I guess honestly, uh, like this week, what, like two or three times, and
Yeah.
we're 3 days in, 2 days in, so I think we're doing all right this week. But it's been an exceptional week. Like
Next week might be a whole week off though.
that's
We'll see how it
it
goes.
might be a month. I don't know.
You never know.
It's kind of goals versus the reality of our life.
Goals versus poles.
Yeah.
Do you like being bred? I'm assuming they mean
No,
like coming in
coming
you.
in me, and I mean that's always my preference because it feels pretty amazing. But at the same time, I'm also like Johnny had a vasectomy, so I don't use any contraception myself. So if I'm having sex with somebody other than my husband, I'm always using protection. Um, Not just for the pregnancy side of things, but for the, like it's protection. I don't want to get some weird STI or whatever. Um, so I like the idea of it and it would be my preference, but it's not plausible in our relationship or in my circumstance. So yes, but I can't.
What do you think of tiny micro penises?
I mean, I don't have any like drama with them. Like I got no tiny micro penis beef, but from a personal point of view, it's pretty much the exact opposite of what I'm looking for. So each
You're
to
talking
their
to
own.
the BBC queen.
Yeah, I like them big. I like them black. Not, I mean, I like them white as well, but visually, it's probably not the most appealing thing for a woman. But in saying that, I have had sex with a rather small penis, and it wasn't the worst.
You don't have to
Thankfully,
put me on blast on the air.
no. Thankfully, I have a very small, very tight pussy, so everything is felt.
Would you ever travel for a BBC?
I've travelled for a BWC a couple of times. I've literally flown overseas, but I would. I guess if it's international, it's a financial thing.
It's
Plus
super expensive
the
to fly international
Yeah, and
from
then I'd have to
Australia.
take time off work, and I've already got all my holidays booked through work, so I
It's
wouldn't get
already a thing.
paid. Like it's literally this is like a $10,000 mission
Yeah.
just thinking about it. But if it was like to
But you
drive,
know what? If you want to come here to sample just a snow bunny, we'll put you up on the couch. All right.
oh God no, um, I just say God no because I have children at my home and I don't want random strangers like staying at my home. But there's a lovely motel just down the road. um, but like if it was traveling as in like driving for like an hour or an hour and a half, like it would depend. Once again, it's a time poor thing. It's a situation like um, for me to travel like 3 hours, so an hour each way for it, right? I got to add 3 hours to whatever we're doing. So just say we're hanging out for 2 hours. That's like a 5 hour chunk of my day. And I don't have those sort of,
That kind of time at the
no,
moment. Can you deep throat 8 inches?
no. I'm going to be honest. Like you're always like, oh, you're the throat goat.
She is.
But like, I just think that's a lot for me. I don't know if it's
I don't
like
think throat
I have a
goat.
small pussy and I have a small mouth and
But
throat.
I don't think that throat goat necessarily means that, like you can swallow every sword you see. I just think it means that you're good at your job.
Okay.
In which, yes, you are the goat of throat. Can I have a threesome with you and your partner?
I don't know. Are you male? Are you female? That's a pretty broad like question. I mean, there's always that opportunity for sure. Like we like to do stuff together and separately. You can have the best of both worlds. You can have a threesome with us, and then you can have a bit of alone time with me.
Exactly. Unless you're a girl. And then, well,
I mean, you can still have
We're
some
both going to
alone
need a
time
little
with
bit
me.
of alone time.
You can't do that. You can't steal my hookup.
Oh, no. This is a dual podcast. How do you let your partner know you're in the mood for sex?
Honestly,
Winks and clicking noises.
This is another one of
it's
those,
a bird
like,
call.
Time poor, situational. It's like when the opportunity's there, we got to like get on it. You know, kids are in bed, whatever. We have a few.
Hey, you want to do it?
Yeah, it's like, hey, you want to do it, or hey, you want to. It's there's nothing like sensual about that. Unfortunately, it is business.
It's business
time. I put my business socks on, and it's business time.
And it just is what it is. Do you have a naughty fantasy, and would you like to do it solo or with your hubby?
Obviously, I want the whole guys jerking off around me thing. I like the idea of, like, you know, 5 guys, because as I said, 5 isn't that a restaurant?
It is.
Oh,
in America.
Okay, so we're in Australia. That's okay. So I like the idea of like the 5 guys thing, and to just have them all like attending to me. That's pretty hot.
Like just like kissing all over you and rubbing your body.
Yeah, giving me the business,
and then taking turns on that ass.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't need my husband there for that one.
I think I'll sit this one out. I'll let you get it in.
Thank you.
What is your sign?
Aries. Sorry, I was like, my sign. The sign.
It's usually a red flag.
Yeah, I was gonna say I seem to pick the red flag as. Yeah, I'm an Aries, so I'm a ram. I'm very strong, like willed, and will butt heads with you.
Would you take an 11-inch cock?
I would take it, and I would probably not get it all the way in. I would try, but
you'd both be disappointed.
I know. I've often wondered with guys with like really big cocks like that.
Yeah.
If they ever get to go all the way in.
If they're actually ever balls deep.
Yeah. I know. I think the biggest I can sort of take without like internal injuries is like about 9 inches.
Yeah.
So there'd be 2 inches that would be left wanting. But I would take it. Yes, I would try.
She would try her hardest.
I would do my best. I would try to do it like a champ.
So slide in the DM.
Yeah, give it a shot.
What is the best way to get your attention?
I don't know. Like, it's like it should be like, oh, just send me your giant cock picture. But I'm a little bit more advanced than that.
I don't think that was ever going to be the best way to get anybody's attention.
I don't know. Tell me I'm pretty. Buy me things. Get me a babysitter so I can have a night off.
You'll be able to even go out to eat with her.
Yeah. Oh, and I love food. Feed me. Feed mama.
Take her out on a date that involves food and not just
fucking,
dick.
Food and fucking.
So that's what you want to do?
But get my attention. I don't know. Just like I've said before, just be different. Like, be normal. Be you. Don't just be like, hey. Or
try.
Like,
put in effort.
Definitely don't be like, hey, slut. Like.
Oh my God, yes.
It's like, rude. I'm a little bit classy in that. I mean, let's be honest, I'm not, but I like to think I am.
If one of your followers ever got a remote control sex toy, would you allow them to control the remote?
Oh God, yeah, that'd be how much fun would that be?
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm getting excited just thinking of it.
Do you like the idea of others masturbating to you?
Of course.
I feel like that's kind of like one of the previous questions, but a little bit different.
Yeah, like, of course. Like, that's hot. So hot. I probably masturbate about you.
She does. Some of you.
We'll never know. You'll never know which ones.
Do you like cum tributes or not your thing?
Oh, I love it. I think it's so great. Yeah, like a few years back, back in the day when I had like an OnlyFans and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was how one guy like totally got my attention. He sent me a cum tribute, and I'd never seen anything like it before. This guy had like multiple mobile phones, So he had my
Oh my,
picture
it
on
was
one,
crazy.
he was filming with the other. And I was just like, what is this, like, witchcraft? I'd never seen anything like it. And Johnny's like, oh, that's a cum tribute. So I thought it was amazing. I was so flattered. And yeah, I ended up having quite a good overseas relationship with this guy.
Yeah, it was really
Um,
good. What is your favorite position?
um, uh, Probably, like, I actually, oh my God, I like to be pounded in general. So anything where I'm being pounded
Mm-hmm.
is good. Like, obviously, it's nice to sit on top and put in a bit of work and be all sexy and stuff, but anything where I'm just getting pounded and sort of controlled, amazing.
And the very last one is having an online emotional relationship considered an affair.
Um, yes, of course. You're you're being sneaky or you're cheating on someone. So I do consider it an affair,
Okay.
yes.
And there you have it. So let's get to now the worst.
Yeah,
Now the worst.
what was your worst?
So, all right. Now I'm just gonna start off by saying I am not fucking lying to any of you here. Okay.
This is the dead set truth.
So I'd been talking to this girl for, oh man, a couple months probably, and she was weird. Um,
Define weird.
uh, she was like, I'm trying to think how old she was. She was part of a couple. So her and her partner were like ethically non-monogamous, that whole business. And so, they both did their own things. And we've been talking for a while, but like she was very almost
Childlike. Yeah, I was gonna
child-minded.
say childlike.
Um and that's really hard for me to get along with those kind of people because I prefer people that are older than me to hang out with to everything on every level. And
People
it's
that don't use a baby voice.
more of a
Oh.
maturity thing. I just don't like to, be around really, really young people like that. Just usually because it's just a maturity thing. It's nothing more. I'm not being a hater. She she was like a really nice person, but there was just no connection. There was no nothing. There was nothing there on my end. On her end, I was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I get that. I'm not mad. Um, but it's just there was nothing there, and I was just like, this is one of those instances where I was just like, oh, whatever. I guess we'll just go through with it because
Let's just
she's.
do it.
Let's
Let's just
just
do
let's
it.
just see how
Yeah.
this turns out.
You never know.
And
They might turn up
that's
and
exactly it. It
you
could be better than I
yeah.
even. It wasn't. Um. So so we're going at it. Well, first, she started, sucking my dick or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, this is all right. I can get down with this. And
Said every man ever.
ever, that's not true. I've actually had some people that didn't know what they were doing. Not you, because
No,
you're the
I just
goat.
meant every
But
man ever likes to get down with that.
I get that. Not because I'm a man, but because it was a nice blowjob. She
Anyway,
she put in work. So then we start actually like having sex or whatever, and then she's like all like bent over, and I'm hitting it from behind, but then she starts getting weird on me. Okay, that she starts like uh trying, one of those situations where somebody really wants to impress another person, so they try almost too hard. That was this.
it's me every morning when I wake up.
No, not like this. This was far worse. So she's like, all of a sudden she starts like throwing it back, which, and, as I'm saying this here, you're like, what's wrong with that, Johnny Steele? Nothing's wrong with that. It was fine when she was just throwing that ass back. I wasn't mad at that. I wasn't mad at the pussy. I was upset with the wording. So then she started like turning her head around and like
Oh, was she dirty talking
she
you?
was trying to dirty talk, but like it wasn't
She
good.
couldn't do it?
She couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So then she's like, "Yeah, Daddy, you like that?" And I'm thinking to myself, "No, I don't like that. Can you please stop?" And she just it kept getting worse, and it kept like she kept getting like, "Oh yeah, yeah, Daddy, give it to me." And like I'm just like, for some people, I would accept it, and I'd be like, "Yeah, this is fucking hot."
Yeah.
For her and her whole personality and the
It
whole
didn't
image that
it
I
didn't
had
go,
of
yeah.
her and how I saw her, it didn't fit. And it's not, is that me being judgmental, and maybe that's my image of her isn't who she is. This is who she is. That might be, true. But it was just the whole,
It didn't
it
work.
didn't
It didn't
work.
gel.
It
It
didn't.
didn't, yeah.
And it turned, it honestly, it was like, it started to get to the point where I'm like, this is like the most unarousing thing ever. And like, if she stopped talking, I could probably keep going. But she couldn't stop talking and she just kept doing it. And like, how do you say, like, please stop doing that?
Well, much like that.
I
Please
just,
stop doing that.
yeah, I feel, you
You
know
didn't
what?
want to make her
I,
cry.
just,
I
I
know.
feel like she was one of those people. I feel like if I did say the wrong thing, I could have potentially made her cry.
Yeah.
And that's not even what I was trying to do. Like, I'm not trying to be some negative
Yeah.
asshole about any of this shit. Like, it's just, it's just one of those situations. Like, it didn't work out. It just is what it is. So, long story short, I basically, in less than 2 minutes, was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, that was so good. And I faked that I got off. Because I was wearing condoms, she'd never know. And because we were at my house, she would never find out. So I hurried up, took it off, threw it in the bin, and next to the bed, and was just like, pretend. I was just like, wow, that was some great. And she's like, wow, I can't believe that you came so fast. Neither could I. Neither could I. I mean, that was such good pussy. Like, I just couldn't hold myself back, sister.
I'm
And
I'm just I just want to put out there.
mm,
It's got to be nearly impossible for a guy to fake it.
I don't think ever in the history of mankind has it happened. I may be the first. Um,
I guess it's about how you play it. Like you said, you
oh
ripped it
no,
off and into the
oh
bin and
bro, I'm not. When I tell you I deserved an Oscar, I'm expecting it in the mail. It was the performance of a lifetime, and I don't mean her. I mean me. So
so
that is my
worst
bad.
hookup. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, I have some other bad ones, but this one was, this one
It had
was
some special qualities, didn't it?
it's just every element of it was wrong. And what I really, if I could go back, I would have told myself, don't invite her over because you never should have invited her over to begin with. Like, you thought that you could just be friends and that it could just be, it couldn't. It didn't. It didn't work out. And in the end, here I am, scarred. And I have a worse date story. So let's get on to you. I
Oh.
feel like I've taken up a lot of time here with my crazy stories.
My worst date story
Mm-hmm.
is quite convoluted.
Let's hear it.
There's a lot of levels. So I don't want to draw it out. So
Yeah.
I guess the brief version, met a guy on Tinder.
Mm-hmm.
So this was probably one of the first people I actually was talking to on Tinder.
Yeah. Okay.
Fairly early, I
Yep.
think. Anyway, I was also quite pregnant at the time,
Yeah.
which
So
was a bit of a draw card on
that
Tinder.
is already a
There's a whole
people either
niche out
love
there,
it or
yeah.
hate it. There's no in between.
But there's a lot of guys that want to smash a pregnant woman.
I get that.
Anyway, I digress. So we we chatted for a while.
Mm.
He was a bit on and off, like he'd sort of come and go, and but yeah, we actually went on a date
Yeah.
and went out for dinner. Like the whole we didn't just hook up. We had an actual date.
That's right, guys. So when you're sliding in her DM and all you
Food.
want to do is dick her down, she's going to slide right past that DM and wait for the guy that wants to take her out to eat some fucking food. Let that be a lesson to you. Continue your story.
So yeah, we went out for dinner and it was fun. We had a really good chat. I probably did most of the talking, as I tend to do.
Yeah.
He just,
I can imagine you would carry the conversation a lot of these days because
yeah.
some of these guys are just kind of weird.
And like he even offered to pay. He
Mm-hmm.
did pay, which was lovely. But to be fair, it was probably deserved because he drank double wild turkeys like all night. So that bill would have been, whew. I think I had like a Coke, a Diet Coke. To
Yeah,
his
because you
like
were
10 turkeys.
pregnant, so you couldn't
I
even
think I
drink
drank
it.
a lot of water, to be honest.
That was
Um,
free. That was free.
it
He
was
didn't even have
free.
to pay for that.
Exactly. So I take him back to his place, and he's broken up with his girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
at some point, or fiance,
Yep.
but she's still like part-time living there.
That's awkward.
But he doesn't sort of know when she's going to be there. She comes and goes because she's got some other guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I actually said to him, I'm like, oh, can I kiss you? Because it had gone really well. And he seemed a little surprised, but was like, yeah, that's cool. So we're sort of making out in the car, and I'm like,
Yeah.
can I come inside? And he's like, oh, I'm just going to check because like my ex might be home. I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. So he goes to the front door and then he comes back and he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she's home. And I was like, oh, okay. Do you want to just hang out in the car a bit more, make out a bit more? No worries. Hops back in the car. And we're sort of making out in that. And he's like, oh, actually, maybe she's not home. Maybe I just left the front door unlocked. I was like, oh, okay. So he goes and checks and he comes back. He's like, yeah, that was me. I was like, safety's paramount in your house. So,
yeah, I know, right?
So we go in and we're just like making out on the couch. And then I was like, should we go to the bedroom? And he's like, oh, he seemed all like really surprised at all this. Like he wasn't expecting any of this, even though that I thought that was the whole idea of it.
You thought that you were going to get dick down.
He thought we were just going to eat food. I don't know. Anyway, so
she does like those kind of dates too. Just so you guys,
if you
just want to take her out for some food and chats,
sit and see what happens.
See what happens. Make out in the car
if you're lucky. So anyway, we're in the bedroom and we're like making out, and then he's like going down on me, and it's pretty hot and heavy.
Yep.
And I can hardly see him because of my big pregnancy belly.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
I'm setting the mood.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, I'm gonna reciprocate.
Yep.
Know? So I undo his pants and pull it all down, and he's like soft, and it's really small. And I was like, wow, I am not turning this man on at all. But
yeah, how does that work?
He had said some things about a bit of performance anxiety. So I was like, okay, that's obviously what it is. But once, the old throat goat gets her mouth around this,
yeah,
it's going to get hard. It's going to be hard as fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm sucking away on what is essentially a thumb, if that.
Yeah.
And nothing. He's saying it feels good, but nothing's actually happening. Like there's nothing,
It's weird.
So I know that I'm not getting sex because it can't penetrate me. It's like a
finger
soft
nothing.
Little baby bird falling from the tree.
Poor little baby bird.
Poor little baby bird. And I tried to revive that baby bird, but
you even gave it mouth to mouth.
I did. Did I ever? So
blew all types of life into it and nothing.
It turns out that he had a certain kink, and we had two kinks, but this one was he liked putting things down his urethra, like down the eye of the penis, basically.
Oh no, I'm sorry, but nobody is stabbing the eye of the tiger on me. Nobody.
It's an actual thing. I can't remember what it's called, but
gross.
It's got a
dangerous
name. People can actually buy like metal, basically
that's
tubes.
terrifying. No, you want to damage yourself? That's what you do. You put stuff in there.
Yeah, but
you know why? Because nothing's supposed to go in there.
He was not using any official sex toys. He was just using objects.
Oh Lord!
And I think
is that a toothpick, bro? Sorry, it's gotten
up.
weird.
I feel like it had damaged him to some point.
Oh yeah, see that makes sense. That's exactly what I'm talking about here.
That he couldn't get off on anything other than that, and also he was saying something about he should have taken his energy pills, and I don't know if that was like the little blue pills.
Yeah.
So yeah, it nothing happened, and he's like, "Oh, next time I'll take my pills and it'll be better." And I was just like,
Not a next time.
Well, there would have been,
Yep.
except chatting with him. He kept disappearing off for like a week at a time. And it turns out he got himself into like meth or something and just went off the boiler. And I was like, I can't have that sort of person around my kids. So I had to end it then and there, basically, and just stop talking to him.
Yep.
Yeah. And there is follow up to that story. He came to haunt me. Update. Months later, I reckon, I don't know, 3 months later or something.
Probably more than that. I'm not going to lie.
I'm at work
Yeah.
of an evening and I get a phone call and I don't know the phone number.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hello, this is Jessica. And he's just like, I just wanted to say I'm really sorry. And this person sounded really like almost drunk or something. And I was like, I have no idea who this is. I'm like, who's sorry? I'm like, how many people have fucked me over? So I'm thinking back through the list.
How far back do we go back, bro?
And I'm like, who is this? And he kept going on about, I hope you and your husband and the kids are good. And I'm really sorry. I know I fucked up, blah, blah, blah. And then it hit me. I was like, oh my God, it's him.
Yeah.
And he's got someone else's phone.
Yeah.
And he's calling me to try and redeem himself.
It's kind of weird that he still had your number
better.
this long after that you guys just, you kind of just,
Anyway. So yeah, I was like, yep, okay, I'll get on with my life now. Thank you. Bye. Fucking hell. So
that's awkward.
And I guess he probably felt bad and he was obviously trying to apologize, but it was just weird because I was like, who is this? And he goes, that doesn't matter. And I'm like, well, it kind of does because you're saying you want to say sorry and I just don't know what it's in relation to. But yeah, I realized who it was eventually. There's way more to that story, but that's like
it's really what only part you need to know.
That was my worst date. I could not get somebody hard.
Yeah, and mine was pretending I came and kicking her out.
Between the pair of us, a lot of dysfunction out there.
Man, this is why we have sex with each other, and it's the best because there's a lot that we put up with.
No fail guarantee.
No fail. You know what you're getting, I know what I'm getting,
but there's also the fun and the allure of the unknown. And there's always that chance that it's going to be a great night or a great hookup.
There is always that chance.
So we keep plowing ahead.
We play the game.
We play the game.
Thanks for joining us on the Steele Rabbit Podcast, where we fearlessly delved into the intricate tapestries of adult intimacy and relationships. We hope our bold conversations have sparked curiosity, ignited passion, and perhaps even brought a smile to your face. Remember, in the realm of desire, nothing is off limits. Stay tuned for more unfiltered discussions, candid stories, and the exploration of the diverse landscapes of human connection. Until next time, keep the flames of passion burning and embrace the beauty of our own sensual journey. This is Johnny Steele, signing off from the Steele Rabbit Podcast.